A lot is on the line tonight for Vice President Kamala Harris as she is set to officially accept the Democratic nomination at the DNC tonight.
And this will be the biggest speech of her life and the first time she's laying out her case for people to vote for her. Joining us with analysis is retired Sun-Times columnist Maudlyne Ihejirika. Good morning to you, Maudlyne.
Good morning.
So we've talked a lot about the message that Democrats have delivered so far. What has been your opinion, or in your opinion, what has been missing?
You know, I think that up until last night, what was missing is an understanding of why this ticket unifies America. You know, we got to meet Tim Walz. And Tim Walz, we needed to understand who he was. But last night, we got that. Last night, you know, conventions of our unifying parties and spurring rank and file voters to action for the remainder of the campaign. And that's what Tim Walz did last night. You know, he portrayed himself as the everyman. And that's what people needed to understand, that every segment of America is represented in this ticket. So what's missing tonight is, who is Kamala Harris? We've received that. We've received all these different pictures of Kamala Harris from all of the portrayals that we have received in the last 3 days. But tonight, what is missing is Kamala Harris has to speak to us, speak to the nation, and tell us why she deserves to be president, why she is a viable, credible, qualified individual and the antithesis to the other candidate.
And you're touching on that just briefly here. One thing we have learned about who each of these candidates are, but we have not heard a whole lot on their intended policies if they are elected come November. Do you think that's intentional so far in the DNC?
I think that the DNC, you know, conventions, once again, are really about unifying the party and spurring the rank and file to action, to work toward the remainder of this campaign, because it's a very short window. And so this was an opportunity really to persuade voters in swing states and introduce them to this ticket. I think that the convention is not going to be the place where you hear the policies. You will be hearing those policies in more detail as we proceed and coming out of the gate from this convention. But yes, I think that the convention was really the opportunity to spur rank and file voters to action and to reach persuadable voters in swing states to move the electorate. You're going to hear policies now out of the gate.
I want to localize this conversation just a little bit. So this morning I heard an interview with a best-selling author. She's an African-American from the south side of Chicago. And she talked about the Democrats' message of joy during the convention. That has been a key word from them. But she wondered if people in Chicago are really feeling joy. You know, the city's high crime rate, the high cost of living in our state. How do Democrats make that key word joy a reality for Americans?
I think that, you know, these are poignant times we live in, when strife and tragedy, both globally and nationally, threaten to eradicate joy and hope. But hope and joy keeps getting back in the ring. It's an amazing time to live in Chicago, where history is being made, where a Black woman has accepted the Democratic Party's nomination for president. That in itself sparks joy, because this is a nation, as I wrote in an op-ed Monday, and as Oprah herself essentially echoed last night, where my parents' generation never thought an America mired in racial inequity and friction could elect a Black president. But President Barack Obama proved that our nation could rise above race. Now, my generation, which never thought an America mired in gender inequity and hostility, could elect a Black woman president, much less a multiracial public servant whose parents migrated from Jamaica and India, is about to see our nation move a step closer to that possibility. And America has always been about possibilities, so that whatever the outcome in November, this nation will have made progress. I think that what is happening both here in Chicago, across the nation, all of our troubles, that is not dismissed by this convention. That is not dismissed by the uplifting of the theme of joy and hope, because there is a reason for joy. When a nation is on the brink of transcending some of its most deepest issues.
Maudlyne, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.